Hey everybody, it's time for us to get started. It's past 8:30. Welcome to today's meeting. First thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
We're going to call to order.
Oh, I thought I did.
I'm going to do the roll call.
Oh, okay,
Thank you.
okay.
All right. We have, let's see here, Charles Smith, Richard Helton,
Here.
Katina Wilcher, Anna Oldham, Timmy Bogus, Stephen Summers, Geraldo Rosales.
Here.
Jim Goss, Joanne Marlin, Carol Mitten, Dennis Roberts.
Here.
Deb Frank Finan. Here. Patrick Brown.
Here.
Will Kiles.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Now, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a
Seconded.
Second?
I did that. Dennis.
Okay, Dennis. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. So it's passed. Is there any audience participation? I don't see any audience, so we're good there, I guess. You had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 23rd, 2019?
So moved. I'll make the second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consolidated financial report, Betty?
Sure. So you received the consolidated report as of August 31st electronically, and that showed our fund balance at the end of August of $9.15 million. However, it should be noted that we had over nearly $1.5 million in receivables at the end of August. Over 1.1 of those receipts were here but not posted by the treasurer's office, so they're not reflected in the financial statement. So that gives us a little bit of an inaccurate statement in terms of our receivables, because that money was here, it just simply wasn't posted to the statements, therefore we can't include it. That got better in September. The receivables decreased to $503,000, and our fund balance continued to remain healthy at 10.8, almost 10.9 million.
Any questions of Betty? Is there a motion to place the consolidated financial reports for August and September 2019 on file?
I'll make that motion. Dennis.
Dennis?
Second.
Geraldo? Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The list of bills?
Sure. So you have the list of bills again for all 5 of our funds. Our activity, of course, is increasing because of the fall and because we're getting prepared to open a new Head Start site, so there's a lot more activity, but I have nothing unusual to report.
Okay. Any questions of Betty? Is there a motion to approve placing on file?
So moved.
I'll second. Oh,
Steve?
Steve's gonna second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Let's see. The IT RFP, Deletso and Betty.
Sure. So we did, as is required for public bidding, we posted in all of the public media a request for proposal from professional IT vendors to manage our network. We were looking for vendors that had experience with local government, that had a primary corporate office within 45-mile radius of Urbana. And we looked for technical services, which included an initial assessment of our system architecture, desktop application support, server and workstation administration services, network administration, email, security, backup, website, internet, strategic planning, on-demand response, as well as service metrics. Our technology has expanded along with our growth. We currently have 22 servers, 55 switches and routers, 360 workstations office-wide, 20 public desktop computers, primarily at our workforce locations, 50 iPads that are used in preschool and our workforce offices, 15 Xerox copiers with scan-to-email capability, 65 printers, and 80 video cameras at our early childhood sites. We have hardware located in 13 permanent office locations, as well as 30 virtual offices in our 13-county area, and I have a staff of 350 working in a variety of capacities in all of these offices. They use multiple software systems. We have to access a variety of federal and state databases as well as reporting templates. So it's a comprehensive on-site platform that we're looking at. So it was the intent that this vendor would provide a lot of on-site support. We have a variety of staff, everywhere from engineers to teachers to planners, and they all have varying capabilities. So we need that on-site technical support. We got 3 formal responses. The first one was from Regis Commission, which is a joint venture in St. Louis city and county government. They do not have a location here. They did indicate they could provide 1.5 FTEs for 60 hours. They do have significant government experience, but no local presence. It was unclear whether they had the staff capacity to serve what we need here, and their proposal was $408,831. We also got a proposal from Technology Solutions Consulting in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They have no local office present. They indicated they would open one if they got the contract. However, in their response, they indicated that dispatching of resources to client premises would be performed at the sole discretion of their company. We found that frankly to be unacceptable. That left us with very little to no discretion in terms of performing IT services on site. And they also had significant out-of-scope exclusions, which were also not responsive to the IT. The annualized cost there was $357,948. The third proposal we got is from our current provider, which is MCS Office Technologies, which is a corporation, small corporation in Gibson City, Illinois. They're our current provider. They offered 1.5 FTEs on site for 60 hours a week for 52 weeks. They have significant public sector experience, not just with us, but with MTD, with the Park Districts, Ford County, other counties in our regional area. They had the lowest cost, fully responsive proposal, and they have very broad-based technical expertise in-house, which is really what we need. So when we have issues that come up, they have technical support engineers on staff that can assist with that. So after extensive evaluation of these proposals, we recommend that the commission accept the 3-year cost proposal from MCS. The response is on page 99. They offered 3 years. Their platform was responsive to what we asked for, which is a per user pricing. So year 1, 2, and 3, the minimum number of billable users would be 300. That said, in the current contract, and I anticipate in the negotiated subsequent contract, if the commission approves this, there is an out clause in those contracts that indicates if we have a significant contraction of funding, because we are entirely federal and state grant-based, that we have the right to terminate this contract within 30 days, giving them advance notification, and that language would also be in here. So we asked for this 3-year. Year 1 would be $331,800, year 2, $348,390, and year 3, $365,820, with the right to negotiate an additional 3-year contract with them. We feel they have the most competitive proposal. We have had very positive historical experience with this company. They have been responsive. As an example, our most recent initiative, our new facility on Country Fair, they've been out there. Everything is set up, cabling, video cameras, internet, IT. So they do have that on-site presence that we appreciate. So given their successful past performance, their technical support capacity, and our need, frankly, for continuity and service provision, we ask you to approve this proposal. And then Delitza and I can take questions.
Any questions of Betty or Delitza? Oh, Dennis?
Yeah. Were you surprised that there weren't other or more responses to your request for proposal? Because I would think that there would be more businesses in the Champaign-Urbana area that probably would be interested in this.
I was surprised, actually. And we posted this not just in the newspaper, on the website. We actually tried to identify and did identify local vendors and sent packets, both via email and hard copy, to solicit proposals. And yes, I was very surprised. There's a company in Bloomington that I thought we'd get a proposal from, and he did call and talk about this. But I think one of the issues is that many of these firms don't have the existing staff and frankly don't want to do on-site type work. They want to do everything remotely. And for us and for our staff, that just didn't seem to be a good fit. But yes, I was surprised at that.
I'm not saying that this isn't a good offer, of course, but, just interesting because this is supposed to be a technical mecca, for IT services and everything. And to get one local one and then one from St. Louis and one from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, I would have thought that 3 from Chicago would have contacted you, but whatever.
Yeah, it surprised me too.
Okay.
This is a contract that we currently have with these folks?
Yes.
And it's at the end of a 5-year or 3-year?
So right now we have a 6-year, which is why we bid this. So the last time we bid this was 6 years ago, and so that pricing platform has remained the same. We did ask them, as we've experienced growth in the last 6 months, we asked them to provide additional half-time, which is why we solicited a proposal with more than 1 FTE. We really need that 60 hours on site.
So I see a 5-year annual increase factored into the new
So,
contract?
yes, it's a 5% increase in the per-user pricing for each year.
What would be the increase from the current to the first year?
So the current year, we're paying $47.53 per user with a lower number of users, but we're paying $120 an hour for that extra halftime. So the blended rate gets us closer to where we are here, and that's
Okay.
just the current market.
Right.
That's what it costs them to provide the services, so.
Okay.
And Betty, we're at 1 FTE with them right now?
Right, we are. So this increases our capacity, which, given the platform that they have to manage and their response time, I don't know that this is unreasonable. We've had such unsustainable growth with the number of staff.
Good. Okay. Other questions? Is there a motion to approve the request for contract with MCS Office Technologies? Steve?
Second.
Geraldo? Further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, the same? Okay. Now a fun one. Health insurance.
Is the memo on our desk different than the memo?
Yeah, so I apologize. The memo and the attachment in your binders is incorrect. So please refer to the one at your desk. We had a couple of mathematical errors in the one, and I apologize for that. The employee health insurance, Champaign County is going to continue to offer a Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois PPO next year. This plan period would begin January the 1st, and the premium rate increase is 4.5%. This rate increase includes 2.4% due to the healthcare premium alone, but it also includes a 2.1% increase for the Affordable Care Act, health insurer fees, and taxes. Now, if the moratorium on the collection of those Affordable Care Act fees continues, that portion of the premium would not be passed on to us. So we just don't know at this point. So the county will continue to offer a 4-tier premium plan for employee, employee plus spouse, employee plus children and family coverage. And that single plan coverage will increase to $840 per month. The Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO has a $2,000 in-network deductible and a $4,000 out-of-network. So on your spreadsheet here, we're asking for the contribution rates for non-bargaining unit single coverage employees for the maximum contribution to be $714 per month, and the employee contribution at $126. We're also asking to be in line with other municipal governments to add an additional $70 premium supplement for dependent coverage. That would be $784 for the dependent coverage. This allocation gets us to an 85% employer contribution and a 15% employee contribution, which in this very difficult recruitment and retention market will allow us to continue to be competitive in terms of securing qualified staff. The fringe benefit package is an important part of that, And so we feel in order to be competitive and consistent with the bargaining unit and other public sector employees in East Central Illinois, that this will allow us to do that. Bargaining unit employee contributions are set forth in the AFSCME contract, which expires on February 20th. That contract is silent with respect to contributions after December 31st, 19. We have requested an MOU with AFSCME. We have not heard anything about that, but so right now their contribution rate for employees is a maximum of $60 per month. So it will be dependent upon that MOU. So we request approval of this employer-employee allocation for FY20 beginning January 1st.
Mr. Chairman, just to add, so currently, RPC contributes 75% towards the premium on behalf of the employees, and then the employees pay 25%. So this would shift us, as Betty pointed out, to contributing 85%, and then they would be paying about 15%.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the plan as presented?
So moved.
Steve?
Okay, I'll second.
Yes. Any questions or discussion? Yes.
Did you receive other proposals? Just curious.
Pardon me?
Did you receive other proposals for health insurance?
Yeah, so the Health Insurance Committee, of which Steve is a member and I'm a member on the Champaign County Health Insurance Committee, we did get a proposal from Health Alliance. But Steve, I'll let you address that further.
Actually, I'm not sure that we got a proposal from Health Alliance that would be comparable. They did not offer the same coverage. So the answer would be, honestly, I would say no, we did not. Health Alliance, in terms of our discussions with Health Alliance, the proposal that they were interested in putting forward was at a higher rate with less coverage.
Okay.
So last year, I think that was the first year that we were with Blue Cross
Yes,
Blue
that's
Shield, and there
correct.
were discussions with Health Alliance and Blue Cross. So the county's benefit consultant has talked to all of those providers, but this was the best premium rate increase that we
Yeah,
could see.
the city of Urbana just decided to stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield for the coming year too.
We've had positive feedback from our employee group countywide.
We did too.
Blue Cross Blue Shield is heavily invested in staying competitive in the Seaview area.
That was very apparent.
Yes.
Is the plan tailored for RPC, or is it a county-wide?
It's countywide. It gives us a better group and therefore better rates, so yes.
Makes a big difference. Okay. Further questions, comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion passed. Supplemental Health and Safety Grant, Brandy?
Hi, good morning. In your packet is information about the HVAC system and fire sprinkler repair needs for the Urbana Head Start Center. The estimated cost to fix issues is at $82,513. In order to pay for the repairs, our program is requesting supplemental funding dollars from the Office of Head Start and Region 5. As with all federal dollars, there is a non-federal match requirement, which is $20,628. At the Policy Council meeting in September, I shared the repair needs with the members, and they approved moving forward with the request for the supplemental funding. I'm now asking for your support to continue to move forward in requesting these funds from the Office of Head Start.
So moved.
Moved by Deb, is there a second?
Second.
By Kyle. Any discussion?
No. Sounds all right to me.
Yeah.
Necessary?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? All right. Head Start, or Head Start?
All right, so the Early Childhood Division is 100% fully enrolled for all program options, with most of the children living in Champaign, Urbana, Rantoul, and Savoy. We presently have a healthy waiting list consisting of 122 infants and toddlers and 121 preschool-age children. The wait list changes daily as new applications are submitted, so please keep that in mind as we go on throughout the year. Currently, we have 32 children who are identified as homeless enrolled in the program. Family advocates are assisting those families with acquiring housing. 13 children are living within foster care families, and 32 children are currently enrolled with diagnosed disabilities. 44 of our children already, since September, have been identified with concerns and are in the process of receiving referrals to early intervention and also early childhood school districts for evaluations. Over the last several weeks, we've made successful strides with preparing for the new RPC Early Childhood Education Center at West Champaign. We passed the public health inspection and received our license. On October 16th, DCFS completed an assessment of the classrooms and the facility and approved a childcare center license through the state. On October 21st, the state fire marshal completed an inspection of the facility and received a positive report. On Monday, November 4th, we plan to open 7 classrooms, serving 40 infants and toddlers and 17 preschoolers. The additional 7 classrooms will hopefully be finished by February 2020 and opening by March 2nd of 2020. All 90 enrollment slots for the Early Head Start Expansion Grant are filled. Since September, the Family Advocates have been providing support and home visiting services to families waiting on the classrooms to open. On October 21st and 22nd, we offered mass health and developmental screenings to new children as we prepare for their first day of Head Start. Also, an open house for new families has been scheduled for October 28th from 2 to 7. This will give staff time to share their classrooms with the new families and also give families a tour of the facility. In addition, socialization evenings and events are scheduled over the next 4 months to connect families, build relationships, offer educational information, and provide children with experiences outside of the classroom. On October 19th, the Early Childhood Division had its first Head Start Awareness Walk at Meadowbrook Park in Urbana. 51 people registered for the event, and 44 participants walked and appreciated the Head Start information displayed on the paths. We even had the executive director from the Illinois Head Start Association walking in support of our program. Not bad for a first walk, and we plan to make the Head Start Awareness Walk an annual event, so I hope to see more participants out there next year. That concludes my updates. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Yes.
I know that in the past, we've had an audit finding relating to not having a high enough number of students with disabilities. So my question is, it sounds like you've got like 70 plus now. What is the percentage we're supposed to be at, and have we attained that?
So at the end of last year, for our program information report that we sent to the Office of Head Start, we were at our 10% and actually a little bit more. Typically, at this time of year, half of our children move on to kindergarten. So we typically drop about 5%, and right now we're holding at 5% just within the month and a half. So that's really, I think that's really good. At times we dip lower than that. Sometimes we're at about 3%, depending on how many children actually move on. Typically by mid-January, we are at our 10%. So I have no concerns about that, about us reaching those numbers. We are working with our early childhood partners and also early intervention, getting our information out there. And we've actually enrolled this year children who have more severe disabilities. So I'm really excited about that, for our program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions of Brandy? Is there a motion to accept and place on file Head Start, Early Head Start management reports, including financials and service area reports dated October 16th, 2019? Geraldo?
I'll second.
Dennis? Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Program updates. Betty?
Sure. So we've been working on finalizing our employee performance evaluations office-wide, which is not a small task. And in that regard, we will be developing and working on a merit-based compensation plan for the office, which we will present to the RPC board for review in November. As you may recall, Baker Tilly was the external auditor hired by the county. We completed all of our work, program and compliance work with Baker Tilly last February and March. The commission should note we did get notification that the county's single audit was not uploaded to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse on time, which was September 30, 2019. That audit packet has not been submitted and therefore is late. They had 15 days to respond to that. We have not received any updated information in terms of progress for that, and we were advised that if that report was not submitted by October the 16th under the grantee compliance enforcement system, the organization could be placed on an Illinois stop payment list, and of course that's of serious concern to us. So we are hopeful that the county is able to upload the consolidated year-end financial report and the single audit, but I have no updated information about that.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Comment with regard to the treasurer's office. It's apparent that the treasurer's office is experienced staff difficulties since Treasurer Pressing arrived. Unfortunately, there's been resistance by some folks in the county to provide adequate staff support for her. So I'm going to meet with Treasurer Pressing after this meeting, and I will talk with her about that. But she's currently without a chief deputy, and unfortunately, at last night's meeting, the county board kind of surprisingly decided not to fund an interim in that position.
Okay.
We've been in constant communication with George Danos, the county auditor, Darlene, Tammy Ogden, Barbara Ramsey, about the audit issue so that, we hopefully can get some updated information on progress. Because if there is a stop payment, of course, that negatively impacts our operation significantly. So we're very concerned about this.
If there's a stop payment, will they, once it's uploaded and approved, will they back pay, or have we then just given up that funding?
Generally, yes, but again, this is
Generally,
year
yes,
3
they
that
will
we've
back
had
pay.
this, and so we're so reliant on these funds, but anytime that there's a suspension in funding, because our cash flow needs to continue, we have 350 people to meet payroll and accounts payable, so it's important that the money continues. So if there's a stop payment for any period of time that elapses, it's a hardship for us because we have no way to finance that.
Did you
Did
say
that answer your
generally,
question?
yes, they would back pay?
Yes, they would.
Okay. Just as.
Did you say that the deadline for achieving this upload was October 16th or November?
So you have to submit your single audit, this is a federal rule, within 9 months of the end of the fiscal year. And so the fiscal year ended last December 2019. So it had to be uploaded into the federal clearinghouse and the state grantee portal by September 30th. We received a letter that said we'll give you an extra, county, not us, I was copied on that, an extra 16 days to get it in by October 16th, and that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
so.
we've already passed that, so, okay. We're already in the soup on that one.
Mr. Chairman.
Wow.
Mr. Chairman, one thing to also add to that, I think, given that we are primarily a grant-funded organization, if this were to be part of our record, it could have serious implications of us seeking any new funding in the future, because we would be viewed as at-risk entity.
Well, it raises a red flag because we have been identified under the Single Audit Act as a low-risk grantee, and we don't want to jeopardize that because anytime that, and especially if we're now in year 3 where these are delinquent, that starts to indicate a trend, and that trend is not positive for us. And as, again, a grant-seeking organization, it's important that we can always say in our applications that we are fully compliant submitting the audit on time as appropriate, so.
I guess I'm not understanding. You're saying year 3 of being delinquent, so.
It's been late, yes,
So it's been late prior to.
this year,
or this year.
yes.
So what, is there a county timing issue that's, I mean, is there a bigger issue that we need to be addressing to help the county know that they need to get it in? Or, I mean, what's the problem that's causing it to be late 3 years in a row, do you know?
I mean, all I can speak to is the RPC's portion, right? And so
Right.
we've completed all of our work with the external auditors. In fact, I called Baker Tilly in Oak Brook to say, is there anything outstanding from RPC? Absolutely not. Everything was done, compliant. I can't address that. That's an auditor's office question.
It's disturbing. Any other questions or comments? Human Resource Report, Becky isn't here. Who's, are you?
I think her report is included in the packet. She's not here because we are in the process of heavy recruiting. We've got about, about 42 open positions, 41 that need to be filled, and so I excused her from the meeting because we're trying to get all that completed. But her report is included in the packet.
Is that impacting the performance of the agency?
No.
Okay. Any other questions? Have a motion to place the division updates on file?
So
I'll make
moved.
that.
Deb? Dennis?
Either, whichever one you do.
Any other questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. CEO Management Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will begin with a little bit of good news. For a second year, our MPO has received a national award. We just got awarded an Outstanding Overall Achievement Award by the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations. They had their conference in Baltimore. That's why Rita's not here today. And that award was given to us for the outstanding work that our team did on the freight plan. We are in the midst of our LIHEAP season. October is the month in which we open enrollment to seniors, households with seniors, as well as households with individuals that have disabilities. I'm happy to report to you that we are currently have taken over 400 applications more than we did last year at the same time. So our team has been really busy. We've implemented some new ways of doing outreach. One of the tools that we've implemented this year is the ability for individuals to make appointments online. And we're very happy that for the first time doing this, we had at least 100 individuals that booked their appointments online, and actually all 100 showed up for the time that they actually booked the appointments for. So we're looking forward to seeing how this will do with the other priority groups. So November will be when we open the program to households that have children under the ages of 5, and then December it's open to the general public. Part of what we've seen with this online tool too, it's sort of reduced the traffic that sometimes we have here at Brookings when we are doing the LIHEAP applications. We're also going to be doing an event in Rantoul. It'll be almost like a LIHEAP Blitz, so it'll be for a number of hours. We'll be taking applications on site in Rantoul. So all of this, I think, will help us to maximize, to ensure that the households that are eligible to receive utility assistance will be able to get that assistance. The other thing I wanted to report on, and this was a discussion that I had with the chair in preparation for this meeting, we will probably be scheduling a study session for the commissioners to discuss an opportunity that we have been exploring with the Park District. Just to give you very quick background, and I know we'll spend more time looking at this once this meeting is scheduled, but it'll be maybe 20 years in 2023. The RPC partnered with Unit 4 to renovate a building that's on Neal Street, which is where the early childhood program that Unit 4 has, and we have our Head Start 6 classrooms at that location. Funding was provided by the city of Champaign. I think we also received some federal funds that Senator Durbin assisted us with, and we collaboratively or jointly renovated that building. That resulted into a 20-year lease agreement between the RPC and Unit 4. We were informed sometime last year that once that lease terminates, which I think is in the spring of 2023, that Unit 4 has an interest in using that space for their programming, which means that we have to find another location for the 6 classrooms that we have there, which 3 are for Head Start and the other 3 are early Head Start. One of the, I think, benefits that we had by co-locating with Unit 4 were some of the services that we were able to access on behalf of our children and families, special education services, access to audiology services at no cost to our program, and there are multiple other things that we were able to access. And so in our quest for finding a location for these 6 classrooms, we're not just looking at a building, we're looking at opportunities to co-locate and collaborate with like-minded organizations. So one of the things that I did with our team last year is we started to talk to the Park District, because we were aware of the Martin Center, which I believe construction for that will begin in 2021 or 2020. And so we've had numerous discussions with them, and there's a possibility of us actually having these 6 classrooms be part of that facility. So the study session that we're going to have with the commissioners will be to look at not only the vision for that, we'll have the Park District here to present, but also how we would potentially fund these 6 classrooms and for us to be part of the Martin Center. As I pointed out with the location where we are right now with Unit 4, being part of that Martin Center, if many of you have seen the marketing that they've put out in the vision for that, we feel that our families, particularly from that area, will benefit greatly by being part of that. And so we'll be working with Pam and getting this scheduled here in the next few weeks.
Any questions of Delitzo?
Going back to LIHEAP, how many households do you have the capacity to assist?
On an annual basis, I'll have to get back to you on that. Right now, I think, I'm trying to remember how many we've reached. I'll have to get back to you on the total number.
Reflecting on the big increase in numbers of applicants, is there a possibility that will not be able to get the assistance and qualify, or no?
So I can probably answer the question from a statewide basis. And so with the LIHEAP program, we're able to serve total throughout the state about 38% of the eligible population. So, but for RPC, I'll have to get that information from Dawn.
And if we have constituents who need assistance, what's the best way for them? Should they apply online, or
you can refer them to come to Brookings, or they can go online. And I think I can give you the flyer. The information is on our website, and they can just go on there and be able to book an appointment.
And if they come to Brookings, it's to the RPC?
Yes, right here. Yep.
Other questions? Thank you. Any old business? New business? We're adjourned.